Hey, and thank you for joining me today. So today I'm going to be doing a reading on Amy Lynn Bradley, an American girl that went missing in 1998. So I watched the Netflix series. I'd say a lot of you are here after watching it yourselves. And I have not been able to get this poor girl's face out of my mind. And my mind is filled with questions about whatever became of her. So just a little bit of background. So Amy Lynn Bradley was aged 23 when she disappeared in 1998, which was over 30 years ago. She was born May 12th, 1974. And so what happened was her father basically won this amazing prize of a cruise. So he went a family cruise in the Caribbean on a ship called Rhapsody of the Sea. So all of the family were absolutely delighted and very excited about this incredible, amazing, once-in-a-lifetime holiday. Everyone apart from Amy, who for some reason felt nervous. She felt nervous and she had to be talked into going. So what happened was on March 24th, basically 4 days after they departed on this cruise, Amy and her brother went to a disco on the ship. They had an amazing time. Apparently she looked stunning that night and was getting a lot of attention from the crew on the ship. There was also a band, and the bass guitarist was this guy called Yellow. He was called Yellow because at one stage he'd actually dyed his hair yellow, so that was his moniker. After the party, Amy went, basically her brother came back to his room at 3:40 a.m. She followed him 5 minutes later. They went out onto the veranda. They started chatting. They're basically on the balcony. She was smoking cigarettes. They were in high spirits, you know, a little bit tipsy because they'd had a great night. And basically, yeah, she was last seen on the balcony, the cabin balcony, at 5:30 a.m. But by 6 o'clock, she had literally vanished into thin air. And a lot of people believe that she may have been abducted. Some people believe that she fell overboard. But you have to remember, Amy was an amazing sportswoman. She had a degree in physical therapy, and she was a really strong swimmer. She also, the boat was also very close to the dock, and it was in shallow waters. So, yeah, but at 6 o'clock she was missing. Her shoes, her cigarettes, her lighter, everything was left behind. So, I want to know what happened to this beautiful young woman. Okay. There's been so many theories over the years. But the authorities ruled out accidental drowning. As I said, she was a strong swimmer. No body was ever recovered. And they also ruled out voluntary disappearance because she'd never run away before. So it is an absolute mystery. But the saddest thing is that there have been sightings of her over the years. One Navy officer, basically one Navy officer said that he was at a brothel and that she came up to him and said she was Amy and she needed help. Okay, so I'm just going to show you my table. Okay, so this is the card. This is the root of the matter. The root of the matter, this is the card of the thief taking something in the night. So something or someone been stolen. Very surreptitious. This shows Amy, somebody young, full of optimism, full of hope, high ideals. Okay, the root of the matter here, we have the Queen of Swords. This is the widow. This is somebody that's very sorrowful. So it is basically somebody that has had a lot of pain in their life. And I think that could be Amy now. Basically, just a very cold person, very functional like a robot, but very, very cold and detached from their emotions. And what's crossing it? What's crossing it is the victory card. It's the hope of being saved. That hope is, you know, this person is victorious. They're riding into town on a white horse. But she knows that there isn't going to be any prince on a white horse that will basically pull her out of this situation. Because here we have the Hermit. Because this has been her reality for many years. The Hermit is always about time. Okay? So time, and it's like only time will tell. It's like this is a mystery, but it's telling me that this is all about timing. And sometimes it can be that the Hermit, it takes time to shed light on the matter, what actually happened. So here's the party. We're back at the disco. We're back at the disco where she's basically drinking and she's having the time of her life with her brother. She's dancing with this guy, Yellow. So I feel that her drink was spiked and that is how they got her. Okay, so this is her currently. You can see it's almost like somebody's been imprisoned in chains. They're locked in, they're in a cell, they're absolutely isolated, they're completely alone. This is the Netflix documentary. Okay, so this is in the position of the outside. This is the position of the outside world. This is where she is in the world. This is the Netflix documentary. Everybody in the world is now thinking about Amy, and basically people are wondering what happened to her. This is her, okay? So this is her mind. Her mind is very confused. This is almost like the mind of a schizophrenic. This person doesn't even really recognize themselves. This is the real person, their true identity, waiting to be unfolded, waiting to, be revealed. But it's complete confusion. And I do feel like there's substance abuse here, because this is like a fantasy, or like a mirage, or like a hallucination. The person doesn't know who they are. Each cup represents possible versions of you. So she doesn't know who she is anymore, because she's obviously been forced into a position where she's probably had to be an ex-worker for so long. But I love how this reading ends. I love it so much, and I really hope that this is the actual ending for her, because this is the card of a beautiful happy home and a beautiful happy family. And this card here is the card of basically the woman at home, completely at peace, content with their little cat, back where they should be. Back where they should be. So that is a beautiful card to end on. And I really do hope that this documentary does help to shed light on her case, so that Amy can get her happy ever after. Because, you know, I think the most disturbing part of this whole story was when somebody emailed the family photographs they found of an ex-worker on some website. This woman looked absolutely frightened. She looked terrified, and she was plastered in makeup. And the images, I mean, most of them have been widely circulated on the internet, but they were of a very salacious nature, if you get what I'm trying to say. But the face absolutely matched Amy, and even her parents believe that it's her. So yeah, so let's hope that this reading is a positive sign that this beautiful woman will be found and be reunited with her family. I think that's what everybody wants.